Well, good afternoon, podcast family. Welcome to the Rising Healing Moment today. Here, we're Rising Potential Counseling. I am your famous host, Dr. Luis Ramirez, or for short, Doc. All right. So, like you know already from my introduction video, I am a licensed diagnostic specialist here in the state of New York. And today, we have a very special podcast I wanted to bring about. Like I told you yesterday in my introduction, I promise that I was going to be coming to you once a day, Monday through Friday. Saturdays are optional, depending if the weather is nice outside or not. Okay. So, welcome today, this afternoon. Ground rules, as you guys already know, when we talk about here, everything is spiritual and mental health based. The purpose is to ensure that we are all growing together as a community, that you guys can come in here and feel safe and secure to share the things that you guys may be struggling with. You might feel ashamed sometimes, guilty, sharing some of these things that you might not share with anybody else, maybe your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your kids, right? And it's best sometimes just to come in these spaces and have these conversations. So I did take note from yesterday's video. Thank you for those of you guys that came in and commented in my first ever podcast and left some very positive constructive criticism feedback. I changed the background. Hello. Let's go. Yes, I'm animated. Get used to it. I'm gay, fabulous, and too much to function sometimes, but we're going to just roll with it. And today, I have a very special topic I wanted to bring about. So, for like the past few months, I've been hearing a lot from people that I know, that I work with, my colleagues, my friends, and my family members, talking a lot about, finding yourself. What does that look like? What does that mean? Right? We all have been through stuff some way or another in our lives, and we struggle, right? And it's very difficult to go ahead and understand, like, who are we? Right? I know that I, for example, can talk about that in my own personal life even through my transition of like coming out as a gay man at the age of 24. And even before that, the things that I felt growing up as a Hispanic individual and why I felt like I didn't fit in. But then here we are in our current ages and we still feel lost and nowhere to be found. When we're just like waving our arms up and down, like, hey, I'm here, can somebody see me? But then how can you expect for somebody else to see you if you don't see yourself? Right? So something that came about is that I've been thinking about these topics, and the one I want to talk about today is finding yourself after you lose yourself. The question becomes, when did you lose yourself? At what age did that happen to you? And I wanted to add an additional element today. Reason why over here today, I have my fabulous good friend, Keishla. Okay, we're just gonna call her KK for today. All right. Um, and in a few minutes, I'm gonna have her introduce herself to you. But I had her come into this one today. She is our first victim. Thank you. Because not only did she lose herself, right, at one point in her life, and been trying to find herself lately, but now she has to struggle with the challenges of finding herself, not just as a woman, but as a mother and as a wife. Okay? So that's something that I wanted to talk about today. So let's welcome into this fabulous podcast today my good friend, for short, KK. So, KK, if you want to go ahead and just briefly introduce yourself and just let us know, let the audience know who you are, how old are you, your nationality, and then we'll get started with some of these questions. Just rebuttal it, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name is Keishla. I am 29. I am Puerto Rican, proud Puerto Rican. Yeah, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have 4 beautiful children, a wonderful husband. Been married for 13 years. No, this year will be 13 years. Yeah. So
Let's clap for that because we don't see about Puerto Rican women married for 13 years after having 4 kids. And not only did she have 4 kids, they're all from the same father.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So, Keishla, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
If you don't mind sharing real quick, the ages of your children, real quick.
Yes, I have an 11-year-old, 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Ooh.
2 boys, 2 girls.
Damn.
Yeah.
More power to you.
Yeah.
My kids, guys, my kids just walk on 4 legs. They're 2 girls. Thank you very much. Yes, I do have 2 boys and 2 girls, but they don't belong to me. They belong to my sister. Say what? Because when I'm done, I say peace. Right? But so Keishla, so I can see that you became a mother and at a very young age. So
Yes.
how old were you when you had your first child?
So I got pregnant 17 and had him 18.
Okay. So
Mhm.
then, and your husband at the time was about 20,
He was 20 when we had our first. Yep.
and you. So at that time, you guys was just dating. You guys were not married at the time, right?
We were.
You were. Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. We
sweet.
got
Look at that sweet tea. Not only does she have 4 kids with the same man, but she did not have about a wedlock.
yeah, no. Yeah, we got married and a year later we had our baby.
OMG.
Yeah.
Can we just like take a quick pause for a second and just do like a real quick?
yeah.
So, in that transition of you having your first child, obviously being a mama of a new baby and stuff,
Mhm.
um, throughout the transition and stuff like that, being with your husband and things of that nature, where do you find? Do you feel that when you already had gotten married with your husband, did you feel that you already had lost yourself, or did you lose yourself after?
I would say I was starting to lose myself a little bit before I got married.
Mhm.
And then after I had my baby, I ended up getting postpartum, so that didn't help either. And then I just completely lost myself there. And then my husband just tried his best to help me, and the family was helping me too. But it's just like once you're lost, it's like no coming back from it. So
So when you were experiencing these symptoms, like you just call it postpartum, I'm glad that you brought it up that way, which brings it back to that mental health component. At the time when that started to happen, did you know exactly what that was?
no.
No.
Mm-mm.
So where did it become? Where did you start then to understand what that was? Like, when did you start to understand the concept of the mental health symptoms that you were experiencing at the time?
I took my newborn to his first appointment, and the doctor ended up treating me instead of the newborn.
Oh,
So she was like, "Your baby looks good, but are you okay?" And I'm just, "Why are you asking me that when you're my son's pediatrician, not mine?" So
oh,
yeah,
okay. So then from that moment on, at that given moment, at that age, being so young, being a teenager and stuff, being a new mama, did you immediately at the time start to treat it? Or was it something that you kind of dismissed? You were like, I don't believe in this. Like, how did that look like for you?
I dismissed it at first because I'm just like that. I've never heard of it at that point, so I'm just like, No, I don't know if they just want me to go make an appointment somewhere or whatever, and they just saw a young mom, and maybe to them they thought I just couldn't do it because I was so young. But no, I dismissed it and didn't. But my husband kept pointing it out, like, maybe this you have it, maybe just look for help, and I just dismissed it completely.
So then, so that's at the age of 18, right?
Hmm.
But then when did you then really begin to look at mental health as a thing of like, I need to get this done for myself?
When I looked at myself in the mirror and under my eyes were so black, and because I was so tired, because my postpartum was that I didn't want no one touching my baby.
Mhm,
And once I looked at myself and I'm hearing, I had my son on the little bouncer
mhm,
in the bathroom with me on the floor because
mhm.
I couldn't even let his dad take care of him.
Mm.
So I'm just looking, and my newborn's crying. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, wow, like I'm really not okay. So I started looking into what postpartum was, and it was everything that I was experiencing at that moment.
So then, did you end up seeking professional help at that time, or did you rely on family? Did you rely on spirituality? What was it in that moment at that age, which is 10 years ago?
Mhm.
What was it that then led you to go ahead and tell yourself, okay, I'm lost and
Yeah.
I need something? So did you go to mental health? Did you go to spirituality, or did you go to family?
I went to family, and a lot of my close friends and my family was there, and I just sat down and then. But I finally, when I accepted it for myself that I was going through that, I went and told my other half and
Okay.
explained it to him. And then at that point, I was living with my in laws, and they were helping me with to navigate motherhood and being a wife because to me, I was still so young. I really didn't know also what being a wife meant either.
Hmm.
So a lot of my family and friends really helped me. And then I brought it up to my doctor. They did put me on antidepressants, I think it was.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that it really helped me with having my family and friends near me.
So when that first happened, the experience of you first being placed on antidepressants as a Hispanic woman, right? And I say this, guys, for the following reasons. Each culture has its own differences of biases and their own differences of taboo topics and things that we just don't want to discuss. I bring to KK today the topic about Hispanicness because I too grew up in a Hispanic Puerto Rican home. All right. There's just certain things that we just didn't discuss. And there were just certain things that we left to either bring it to the church, pray about it. We don't talk about this with nobody else because of the simple fact that we don't want nobody in our business. And I don't know if it was the same for you, KK, but I know that for me, I know you and I are about like 7 years apart. I know that for me, when I was growing up, the one thing that my grandmother and my mother used to say at times was that mostly my grandmother was that my mom was more the rebel when it came to this topic, but my grandmother looked at therapy as a white people thing. Only white people talk about their problems with a therapist. Us culturally people, Puerto Rican, we go to church, we pray about it. Those are demons, those are this. And you're like, okay. So for you at the age of 18 as a new mama, right, growing up with your in-laws, when you were then presented, right, months later with antidepressants, what was your initial reaction to the fact that you were told not only do you have a mental health condition, but now I got you a pill?
I felt crazy. I felt so crazy. I'm like, really? I'm one of those. Like, I gotta be put on a pill so I could be happy. Like, I'm a mom. Like, why would I not be happy? Why would I have a baby at home? He looks up to me. Like, why would I not be happy? And it had nothing to do with me being a mom. It had nothing to do with me being married at such a young age. It was just me. And I was so embarrassed to even also share that too. And only my husband knew that I was on medication and no one else. And I was even embarrassed that he knew.
So even living at your in-laws, because I know you mentioned your in-laws were a strong support at the time.
Yeah.
So even down to the fact having a woman, for example, like your mother-in-law, a woman who has kids, who could probably understand what it could be like to have postpartum differences.
Yeah.
Even with her, you didn't even feel safe at that time to even bring this topic up to her that you were on medications.
Right. So
she knew about the postpartum, but
yeah, and she did help me with it a lot. I wouldn't say I didn't feel safe telling her. It was just me so embarrassed of it because they did make me feel safe to speak to them and I say them because it's always my mother-in-law and father always together. So but I was so embarrassed. Like I'm like, oh my God, I don't want her to be ashamed that my son married this girl and she has my first grandbaby. I really didn't want them to be like, really, and I'm just like, I was so embarrassed. It was a shame.
So let's take a quick pause for a second right here, and let me just give you guys some insight into this. So here we are at the time. I'm going to get to the juicy segment in a minute, okay? Here we have this individual, a new mother, right? Experiencing something so normal, because it's chemistry, it's biology. The body was the one that was making her feel this, right? She was the one, she didn't do anything wrong. Her body was the one making her have these symptoms, as all you guys know nowadays, now that we're in 2026. This is something that is very typical in women, right? And here you have an 18-year-old. Mind you, KK didn't share that she went through this process with her biological family. She said, my in-laws and my husband helped. Another element to be added for later on. It's a different topic, not for today, okay? But here you have this person who's being told by a professional, you have this going on. She finally then accepts the help months later, not initially, and still feeling guilty and shame. Even down to the fact that she was ashamed that her own husband knew that she was taking a medication because, as she said, quote unquote, I felt crazy. That stigma, okay? So this is where we start to see these patterns of like where we start to lose ourselves. We are allowing for social media, we are allowing for society to put in our heads all these different ideas and ideations and false biases of things that are not true, right? So then, KK, let me ask you this. So that was at the age of 18. This does, obviously, then you have 3 more beautiful children after that. That's been 13 years you've been married. From the first time that you went ahead and sought out therapy, how long in between before you did it again? If you did it again.
Go to therapy?
Again. Have you done a therapy again since
No.
that time?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
2026. Yeah.
So you went so at this time you're not engaged in any you're not seeing anybody, you haven't been finding yourself struggling with anything that way you feel like you're lost.
I wouldn't. No, not really. I wouldn't say I'm lost. I still seek. Well, I stopped a
Mhm.
long time ago. Then recently started again
Mhm.
with therapy, just for myself, so I could feel better, just to have someone to talk to.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, no, but it's
Okay.
been, my son's 11 now, so I would say 11 years.
So then at that time was just briefly lived.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So where do you feel would you say how did you find yourself in that time frame, right? From when you had your first child to now. How many times have you felt as if you didn't even know who you were? That your essence of a woman as an
Mhm.
individual
Mhm.
was clouded by motherhood and wifelyhood.
Oh, yeah. It's a hard.
Because what I mean by that too is like, because then you have KK, right? That's you individually.
Yeah.
But then you got mommy
Yeah.
and you got babe,
You're right.
right?
Yeah.
So do you feel that in the 13 years, even though your husband is a great husband and he's amazing and
Mhm.
supportive and so is your family, but how many times have you felt lost as KK when she takes a back seat?
Well, many times I would feel lost. Like if I'm just overwhelmed by the day because of work and my kids, and I would just look like, what am I doing with my life? Or like, am I a bad mom? Am I a bad wife? And it's a lot, because a lot of people, they still see me. 29 is young, and then when they hear that you have 4 kids and a husband, they're like, oh, where are all the other dads at? And I'm just like, okay. And I always,
Can we pause right there?
yeah.
I like how you just said that. Remember in the beginning, I gave you credit, right?
Hmm.
Not that you needed it,
Yeah.
but like the fact that you have 4 children and one father.
Hmm.
You just said something when people are asking you these questions. The fact that people have the audacity sometimes to even ask
Yeah.
this question. You just said, people sometimes will look at you and be like, you're 29 with 4 kids. Where are the other fathers?
Hmm.
Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah. I mean, because it's uh statistic,
Yes.
yeah, that people see you, and okay, yep, these are my kids, here's one, and okay, and they would assume, because I'm still young and with so many kids, that I have 4 baby dads, not even 2. They would always assume that I have one for each, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand that. And then when I explain, no, they all have the same daddy, it's been 13 years that we've been together, and they're just like shocked. And yeah, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with having multiple baby dads. Everybody
Mhm,
has their situation, but
mhm, mhm,
I'm
mhm.
proud to say that I only have one.
So when this stuff comes up, when people have the audacity, nevertheless, to have these commentaries towards you, how do you respond to people like that? Do you just let it go, or do you like really give them a response?
Well, I would say I give them a response, because I just answer like, yeah, I have it. It's just one. And again, they're shocked about it, and I just leave it there. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
get in deep to it or in depth with it, and just to give them my time of day, because for what, like you said, they're the audacity to ask me that. I'm not gonna give you my time of day. Yes, I have one. Keep it moving.
And that's like one of my good friends would say in that moment. I thought like what comes to my mind is just baptizing them to the concrete, but she chooses not to.
Right.
She chooses to baptize them with water instead
Exactly.
and not the concrete. Because nowadays, even though we got bail reform laws in New York State, we still don't want to be paying that lovely ticket and be put in handcuffs, because I know that neither one of us look good in orange. Say, well, again, okay.
Yeah.
So as we start to end the segment for today, thank you, first of all, for being my first today.
Yeah. Thank you for having
I
me.
don't think I will ever tell a woman that, guys. Wow. My first. Oh my goodness. Lord, you got me saying things today that I
Yeah.
would never say to another woman, honey. Say what?
I'm glad it's recorded. You can remember it.
Girl, not only is it recorded, this is going on live.
Yes.
That teapot. So if you can give women of any age, who are mothers, wives, or just women in general, if you can give them some words of wisdom
Mhm.
of how to prevent themselves from losing themselves, but then those titles. I'm gonna use the word titles for a minute because that's what they are, right? They're titles. They're not who you are, right? You're still KK. That's your
Mhm.
essence.
Yeah.
Yes, you are a mother and a wife, but you're still you,
Yeah.
right? What words of wisdom, if you were speaking, let's say, to the 18-year-old version of yourself,
Mhm.
what would you say to her to prevent her from experiencing some of the turmoil that you might have had to go through? So then she doesn't have to go through those things
Yeah.
as bad as you did. What would you say to her?
I would say always put yourself first. Always think about you, because if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of your kids? Who's going to take care of your husband? Because yes, he may not need to be taken care of like that, but you have to be there for him. You have to be his other half, and just always think about you. If you feel down, express it.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your person.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then in this case, your person to you is who?
my husband. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so cute. Husband, if you're listening, okay.
Yeah.
Husband, if you're listening,
Yeah.
get close. Come here. Let me tell you something. You better be listening. And you better have that nice gift for her. Okay.
I know.
As recorded, guys, here you heard it first.
Yes.
You heard it first here at Rising Potential Counseling, Rising While Healing with Dr. Ramirez. Okay. So thank you so much, KK, for coming in today
Yes,
and being
thank
such
you.
a brave soul and being my first woman. Okay. So, yes, I know that it may seem like, who in the world tarnation is this person? Like I said, my name is Dr. Luis Ramirez. I am a diagnostic trauma specialist here in the upstate New York world. All right. If you see me around, say hello. If you're looking for services, say hello. What's your phone number and fax number? And I'll give you my website as well. You can also find me at www.risingpotentialcounseling.com. Again, that's www.risingpotentialcounseling.com. So, okay, thank you so much. You
Thank
have
you.
been such an amazing uh, feature for today, for my first ever podcast. And I am so happy that you were willing to be so open and so transparent and be able to share this information and to give people some words of wisdom. Guys, if you enjoy having KK today, when you guys go into the comment sections, please do hashtag bring KK back. Okay. So I look forward to seeing you guys all. So please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to do so when you guys watch this video. And if you guys want more content, please leave in the comments some of the topics that you want me to bring up. And I'll be more than happy. Like I said, I will be here every day, Monday through Friday, with some optional Saturdays if the weather is not nice outside. Thank you again, guys. Love you all. Have a blessed day. And remember, like I say all the time, keep rising because you too are special. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.